My name is Elena, and this is the story of the night I was supposed to lose myself. But instead, I found something I never expected. People say marriage is beautiful. They say a husband protects you, a husband loves you. But no one tells you what it feels like to marry a man you don't love, a man you don't know, a man you fear. It began with a hospital bill. White walls, smell of medicines, machines beeping like a countdown to loss. My mother lay unconscious, and I sat beside her, holding her cold hand. "Save her," I whispered to God. "Take anything, but not her." And God did answer, but not in the way I wanted. He came in a black car, Arjun Malhotra, a man people didn't question, a man people feared. He said, "I will pay for her treatment," he said calmly. Hope rushed into my chest, but then his next words destroyed me. "You will marry me." Time stopped. My voice disappeared. My soul froze. I wanted to scream. I wanted to refuse. But then I looked at my mother, weak, fragile, fighting for life. And I broke. "Okay," I whispered. That one word ended my old life. The wedding happened in just 10 days. Everything was fast, too fast. Makeup, jewelry, smiles, fake smiles. Everyone said, "You're so lucky." Lucky? I felt like I was being sacrificed. When I saw him at the mandap, he didn't smile, not even once. His eyes were unreadable, cold, distant, like I didn't matter, like this was just a deal. And that hurt more than fear. Night came, the moment I was dreading. His house was not a home. It was silent, empty, like no one had ever loved there. The door closed behind me. Click. That sound echoed in my chest. My heartbeat became loud, fast, wild. I stood near the bed, frozen, my hands trembling, my breath uneven. This is it, I thought. This is where I lose myself. He walked slowly toward me. Each step felt like a storm coming closer. I shut my eyes tightly. Tears slipped down silently. "Please," I whispered inside, "don't hurt me." Silence. Then his voice, "Elena," it wasn't harsh. It wasn't commanding. It was soft. I didn't move. I was too scared to believe it. Then I felt him come closer. My body stiffened. I prepared myself. But instead of pain, I felt distance. "Look at me," he said gently. I opened my eyes slowly, and what I saw confused me. He wasn't looking at me like a man looks at his wife. He wasn't looking with desire. He was looking with concern. "You're shaking," he said. I didn't answer. His jaw tightened, not in anger, but in frustration, at himself. "I didn't want this," he said quietly. My eyes widened. What? I didn't want you to feel forced. My mind stopped working. This wasn't the man I imagined. You agreed to this, I said, my voice breaking. You asked for this. He shook his head. No, I offered help. Your uncle suggested marriage. Everything inside me shattered. So, you didn't buy me? I whispered. His expression changed instantly. Hurt. Deep, silent hurt. I would never buy a person, he said. Silence filled the room. But this time, it wasn't scary. It was heavy, truth-filled. Then suddenly, my stomach growled. I froze, embarrassed. He blinked, and for the first time, a small smile appeared. You didn't eat, did you? I shook my head slowly. Without another word, he turned and walked out. I stood there, confused. Minutes felt like hours. Then the door opened again. He came back, holding a tray. Not fancy food, not rich dishes, just simple, home-style food. I didn't know what you like, he said awkwardly. So, I made something basic. I stared at him. You made this. He nodded, a little nervous. That moment, something inside me softened. We sat on the floor, not on the decorated bed, not like strangers, not like a forced couple, just two people. I hate weddings, he said suddenly. I looked at him, surprised. They feel fake, he added. I smiled faintly. I hate heavy lehengas. He chuckled softly. That was the first time I heard him laugh. And something changed. That night, he didn't touch me. Not even once. Instead, he said something I will never forget. Alina, you are free. I looked at him, shocked. This marriage will only mean something the day you accept it. He picked up a pillow, walked to the couch. I'll wait, he said, no matter how long it takes. And just like that, the man I feared the most became the one person I felt safest with. That night, I didn't fall in love, but I stopped being afraid. And sometimes, that's where real love begins. Not every love story starts with happiness. Some start with fear, misunderstanding, silence. But real love, it doesn't force, it doesn't rush, it doesn't hurt. It waits, it understands, it protects. Days passed, but something inside me had changed. Not love, Not yet, but the fear was slowly disappearing. Arjun kept his promise. He never crossed a line, never forced a conversation, never even entered my space without asking. But that was the problem. He stayed distant, too distant. Sometimes I would catch him looking at me, and the moment our eyes met, he would look away, like he was stopping himself. And I didn't understand why, but that started hurting me. One evening, it was raining heavily. The sky was dark. Thunder echoed loudly. I was alone in the living room. The lights flickered. My heart started racing. I hated storms. They made me feel small, helpless. Boom! A loud thunder. I cinched. Arjun? I called softly. No answer. I checked his room. Empty. My chest tightened. Where is he? The house suddenly felt too big, too silent, too lonely. For the first time, I didn't feel scared of him. I felt scared without him. I grabbed my phone and called him. Ringing, ringing. No answer. Again. Ringing. Still nothing. My hands started shaking. What if something happened? I tried again, and again, and again. No response. Tears filled my eyes. Why was I panicking like this? Why did it feel like I was losing something important? Hours passed. The rain didn't stop. The silence didn't break. And then the door opened. I turned instantly. Arjun stood there, soaked in rain, his shirt wet, his hair dripping, his breathing heavy. Relief hit me so hard, I almost collapsed. "Where were you?" I shouted. My voice broke. He froze, shocked. "I had work," he said. "Work?" I stepped closer. "You didn't pick my calls." "I didn't see." Before he could finish, I hugged him. Tightly. I didn't even realize what I was doing. "I was scared," I whispered, my voice trembling. His body stiffened. He didn't hug me back. Not immediately. That hurt. Slowly. Very slowly. His hands lifted. And then he held me. Gently. Carefully. Like I was something fragile. "Elena," he whispered, but his voice was different. Heavy. Conflicted. I pulled back slightly, and that's when I saw it. Blood. My eyes widened. "You're hurt?" "It's nothing." "Nothing? You're bleeding." Panic rushed through me again. I dragged him to the sofa. "Sit." He obeyed, quietly. I ran to get the first aid box. My hands were shaking again, but this time not from fear, from concern. "Why didn't you tell me?" I said angrily. "It's just a small injury," he replied calmly. "Stop saying that," I snapped. He went silent. I cleaned his wound carefully. Every time he flinched, My heart hurt. Does it hurt? I asked softly. He looked at me for a long moment, then said quietly, "Not as much as this." I frowned. "What?" "You were worried for me." My breath caught. "That shouldn't matter to you," he added. "Why not?" I whispered. He looked away. "Because I'm trying to stay away from you." My heart dropped. "Why?" I asked, barely able to speak. He clenched his fists. "Because the day I stop staying away, I won't be able to control myself." Silence. Heavy. Shocking.
"I love you, Alina." Everything stopped. "I tried not to," he continued. "I tried to give you space, to give you time." His voice broke. "But every day, every moment, it's getting harder." My eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to force you," he said. "That's why I keep my distance." My heart was racing again, but this time, not with fear, with something deeper, warmer, stronger. "You idiot," I whispered. He looked at me, confused. "You think I was scared tonight because I was alone?" I stepped closer. "I was scared because you weren't there." His eyes widened. "I called you again and again, not because I needed help, but because I needed you." Silence. But this silence was different, alive. "Archon," I said softly. And then, for the first time, I held his hand. Not out of fear, not out of hesitation, but out of love. "I think," I whispered, "I'm not afraid anymore." He didn't move, didn't speak, like he was afraid this moment would break. "I think," I continued, "I'm falling for you." That was it. The wall between us finally broke. He pulled me into his arms, not forcefully, not urgently, but like he had been waiting for this for a lifetime. And for the first time, I didn't feel trapped. I felt home.
Sometimes love doesn't come with butterflies. It comes with fear, distance, and silence. But the right person, they don't break your fear. They heal it. And one day, you realize you're not scared of them anymore. You're scared of losing them. This was the story of Alina. Thank you so much for being here and listening till the end. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please drop a comment. Tell me where you're listening from. I'd love to know.